Hi, beautiful souls. Hannah here. Welcome. Going to do psychic readings today with my very overgrown lawn because of all the rain. It's finally stopped raining, and I realized, I think it was today or yesterday. Yesterday was our first day of blue skies after, I don't know, a good week or so of rain. I didn't actually realize how much I missed the blue skies and the sunshine, right? So yeah, it was kind of really interesting having that time away from the sun again. I was like, no, don't disappear again. So the Lawnmower Man's coming today. So I'm doing a live stream in the beautiful outdoors because I've been indoors for ages because it's been raining so much, and I'm very grateful the sun has come back. So when you arrive, let me know that you're here, say hello. And I'm really excited because this clarity is really starting to come through with everything I'm doing. I'm like this massive reconfiguration I've been going through. So huge. It's so massive. And I know a lot of people are going through like a really big transition right now as well, yeah? So let me share this and then I shall be super present with you guys. So hang on a sec. Just making sure I'm sharing it in the right place. And in the group, in the Reality Awareness support group, which if you're not in the Reality Awareness support group, that's my free private group. And every Tuesday, I do Intuitive Healing Tuesdays in that group. So if you need support, if you need intuitive healing, if you need something, you don't know what it is, that's the space to come and share and ask questions about anything, whether it's world stuff, my life, your life, anything that's going on. Yeah, sunshine at last for us, that's right. So much rain there, and I know down south has been getting a lot more rain than us, of course, as well. Hi, Doreen. And Tina from Ontario, Canada. Awesome. Let me know where you're from, beautiful people around the globe. I always think it's amazing that we can be in all these different places and connecting in this way. So yeah, so exciting. Yeah, it is beautiful here. I'm super blessed. Super blessed to be here with all these little mimos. Hey, this is Toby. Toby. Hey, bit of a sookie. So, all right, so psychic readings. And also, so with this clarity and this big recalibration, hi Jess from New York, lovely, so awesome. I think it's probably, what are we now? Maybe nighttime, we're getting on evening there for you, I think, at the moment. So yeah, so with all this clarity as well, I got really clear about one of my offerings, which I'm really excited about, which is the quantum portal sessions, the reality reconfiguration. And this is where we go deep into the quantum field, into these energetics that deeply I'm so passionate about. And I love working in this deep energetic bubble, this deep vortex, and we step inside this space. So the quantum portal sessions I'm really excited about. So send me a message if you'd like more details about that. It is a 1 hour one-on-one. It is recorded as well, and we get on the phone or video call, I prefer, and being able to really dive deep into that space, working on a deep energetic level in that vortex, being able to reconfigure your reality without the pain, without the trauma, without that stuff, because that is like what been really like working through, been following me for a bit, been working through, and like, how do we heal without going into all that pain and digging it all up here again, right? So I'm really excited to be offering that, and it kind of is like a no-brainer. I was like, well, that's what I really do in my distance healings, and go deeper in the quantum portal sessions. So yeah, send me a message if you'd like details about that. Oh, from New York as well. Yay! Hi, Lena. Yeah, 7:30 p.m. Awesome. All right, I was all good, and now I'm starting to get really hot because like my lower half of the body is in the sun. So bear with me if I start being really hot. Can be so taxing. Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. Yeah, and this is where I've been like going through this big transition myself and what I'm offering and how I'm supporting you guys in the world and myself and all of that. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to finally have this clarity. This is like 1 minute clarity. And then yesterday, I was going to do this live stream yesterday. And if you probably saw on my post yesterday, it was like, nope, the universe made me stop yesterday. I'm like, okay, like, you know, and like I feel like everything is getting reconfigured in what I do and offer and how I do it. So really, really excited about that. So yeah, watching from Perth, that's where I grew up. Beautiful, lovely to have you here, Leah. The re-traumatizing, yeah, really just trying to like unlock it and reconfigure, right? And this is where we do the reality reconfiguring, and I love working on this stuff. We go deep into the physical body, a bit like medical medium stuff, going into like reconfigure the organs, you know, and the trauma, and really working like with the spiritual guides and the other realms that come through. Like I love working with my clients like this. So yes, definitely no more taxing energy, no more trauma, drama, pain, all of that. It's time for the joy, right? Hi, Denimetta. So Jenny says, my body work did that for the clients. Yeah, for your clients. Yeah, it's like, it's deep in the body. That's where we hold it, right? So yeah, I'm really grateful to be working in these sessions. So yeah, send me a message if you like more details with those. All right, so I'm just getting all the cards out. For these psychic readings, I'm going to read. If this is your first time to my live stream for psychic readings, the way that I work with these psychic readings, choosing people, is I will say, just like now, if you would like a psychic reading, say yes please, Hannah, and I will go through and intuitively pick somebody. Probably, as always, won't be able to get through everyone on the live stream, but if you listen carefully, then you're going to pick up something as well, because there's always a message for you. Hi, Brittany. Did I say hello to you? I did see your message there. Scrolling back, checking in. Hi, Demi. All right, so wait for those yes pleases to come in. So funny having so many cats. There's like 4 of them just like hanging out on the fence. Oh, it's been interesting as the kittens are growing up. All right, so get these cards out. Thank you for your yes pleases. All right, so little thing, guys. Getting a lot of spam bots, a lot of these people messaging you, like telling you guys to message you about a private reading, about psychic guidance. I mean, you can go for that if you like, but they are spamming on my page. They are graffitiing on my page, and I would just ignore them or report the comment. But I will never contact you and say, hey, inbox me for a reading. Like, I will never do that. I don't work like that. So just ignore them if you get them, because there has been a bit on my page just in the last week or so, or the last couple of readings, I should say, that I've done. All right, so I am being called to read Lena. It was like Lena. I'm like, okay. So I will do Lena, and then the other, sorry, for those of you who are just new here, I'll read Lena, and then I'll ask you guys to do like a yes please list again, and I'll scan through that list. Number one is because sometimes you definitely have to say live to receive your reading, and sometimes in the past, like I've read people and they haven't been there, and it's kind of unfair for the people who are waiting online for a card. So yeah, so okay, we have a spammer. Yeah, exactly right. Reporter, thanks guys. Loved your mushrooms. I know there's so many that came up over, like there was so many everywhere, and like even just the big white ones and stuff. I was like, which ones can I eat? It doesn't seem like fair that these gifts are coming up and I don't know which ones. So yeah. Oh, happy birthday. Who was that? Oh, Leanne, sorry to hear about that. For your car accident. Okay, Lena. Check it out. There's 5. So if I do a card reading, it's either 3, 5. There's other reading spreads that I do, of course, but it's interesting. 5 exactly came out for you, Lena. So first of all, Song of the Siren. Is this back to front for you guys? No, I think it's back to front for me. You guys can read that? Because I can't read it. I'm getting confused. I'm pretty sure I turned the camera on. No, I didn't turn the camera on. Give me a second. This is important. I feel like it's important that you see it on here. Sorry about that. Of course there are 5. Exactly. There we go. That's better. Yeah, very beautiful card. Yeah, Song of the Siren. So the call, the summoning, the voice to acknowledge, like look at the beautiful colors in there. So much platinum and just like coming into your power. So technically this would be represented as a past card. And obviously you're interested in intuition. I've worked with you. I know a bit of your background. So with the Song of the Siren and the platinum energy, like you've come into your own, you know, I know that you've stepped away from some situations. The air card, breathing, breathing deep, entering into life, exchange of life, bringing energies. And, you know, like, I feel like this is, the air card is always just taking a break. But also your breath, the quality of air that you're breathing, and also your energetic air environment. So who are you hanging around? Who are you spending time with? Who are you breathing in most of the time, whether it's online or connecting with in person? Like, it's really about tuning in to the energetic air around you. But I feel like from what you came into your own and walked away from, this is giving you that space. And what's really interesting, so the next 6 months or so is a seashell divination, and it's almost like you rise into the next level of your psychic gifts, of your awareness, of, it feels like there's another, I'm covered in goosebumps to say this, another level and layer that's about to birth out of you. And I wonder if you can like kind of feel it sitting there, and I'm getting from your heart. It's interesting, ready to like bust out, but it's almost like these sort of factors need to fall into place first, which I feel like is this air and this breathing, is that you're having to, I want to say trust the process, but that's like a no-brainer. But I feel like you're being okay with this space and not knowing, even though you are consistently working on your work, I feel like there's a new level about to surface here. Now, what's interesting is the telepathy card, and this is in what you're hoping for and what you're scared of. Lena says, yes, I can totally feel it. So nonverbal communication, energetic pulses, and mind reading. And this is where like the next level of you and your psychic gifts and your intuitive awareness, and something that you can't even see or feel is on the horizon as well, in a way. So the telepathy card, and is, you know, if there is, look, there's this platinum light is really, really strong there for you. See, like between their arms and in the background, very, very much the platinum silver light energy, just like on this card here. So, you know, I find that platinum light has been around for quite a few people for about the past 18 months or so. It really started coming into the ethers for a lot of people. I feel it's, you know, like gold is very anchoring. So gold in our system, whether we take it as a crystal, whether we wear it as a crystal, whether we take it as a colloidal, like those, the gold anchors us in. But I feel like the platinum, it's almost like the gold anchors us and our higher self in. And then the platinum light is able to come in as a container, like the gold holds it as a container, right? I don't know how to describe it any other way than that. So when I look at those cards and then, you know, what's about to come in for you, I feel like this breath and this air is giving you that solid container, being able to like hold this next version of you, that is ready to come through, right? And I feel like this next 6 months, like you won't know yourself at the end of it in a way, like you'll be totally transformed sort of thing. The wind's really picked up, so just let me know if it's too windy and I'll go and grab my earphones. So interesting, the unseen card, too much is hidden from you, comes in as a final outcome card. And this is interesting, right? And I feel like I want to say question everything, not in a fearful way, but I just wonder if, so this is you really, what's the right words, amplifying, tuning in, tapping into, so as you come into this, I feel like, you know, when we say like when you have a spiritual awakening, your light in the spirit world becomes brighter, and so you attract all these spirit beings and other people who haven't passed over and stuff, you know, when that happens, yeah? I feel like this is going to happen on a stronger, deeper level for you, and it's not to be scared of, but obviously, as we know, this enables us to trust our intuition more in being able to really like hone and decipher who is actually that in the spirit world and also in the physical world. So I feel like your senses and your deciphering, tuning in is becoming like acutely clear, and it wouldn't be surprising if you go through like a physical transformation as well. Like, so you know how I said the gold's coming in, the platinum comes in, and it's got a container there. It's like that energy's been sitting in your body for quite some time now because of the work you do. I know you do work. And so this transformation is on all levels. So physical as well. Now, also hearing like house move and stuff as well. And so with this card, it's like really being, staying in your power. Yeah, staying in your power. And I know that you know, will do that, but I feel like you'll be tested more, and it's not, you know, I don't like that word, but in a sense of, you know, like you're coming into your own in a different way, like a whole new kind of system coming in a way. And so with this, it's really like you'll feel amazing. It'll be like, wow, this is it, like sort of thing. And then because of that, it's like this also increases, like your discernment factor needs to be more switched on and sharpened. Now, this one, the Song of the Siren, you've really come into your own, right? In the past cards, this is what strengthened you to move to the next level. This one as well, like divine sensuality, making love, erotica, like you're really coming back into your femininity, like really working on that on such a deep, you know, I want to say atomic level, cellular level, DNA structural level. I just feel like you're really working through such a big, like healing through the divine, and ultimately that's your power. Yeah, that is really your power. So, yeah, that's yours, Lena. It's pretty amazing. Yes, yes, yes. Lena says, such beautiful confirmation. I can feel so much huge stuff going in for me. There we go. I definitely feel a house move too. Yes, manifesting buying a house. So good. Sounds like a reading for me. Yes, Dee, awesome. This is the thing when we can really like listen, because I won't be able to get to everyone on the call as much as I want to. When we can listen in, there's always a message, and there's always one that'll be, you know, like as long as that. Oh, I didn't realize it was your birthday. I saw the birthday and I didn't catch whose it was. Is that why I was intuitively called to read yours? Right, it's your birthday. And 5 cards pulled to fill out. Like the biggest reading, of course. All right, so for those of you who are new on this live stream, every time I finish reading somebody, if you could say, yes, please, I would love a card, or yes, please, or so I've got a fresh line of yes, pleases to intuitively choose from. Because, yeah, some people jump on and off the live stream, and I just feel it's fair to say, yes, please. I can go through that list there. See who's tuning in. Oh my goodness, this is hot. The sun's so hot down here. Okay. Put it in the shade. Still cold inside, but the tin's hot. Well, I don't think it's tin. I don't know. Are those things tin? I don't know. A technological understanding of the metals. I know metals, but I'm like, what am I drinking out of? No. I just know they're good for us, right? Okay. All right. So thanks for your yes, pleases. Let me just tune into that. So, okay, I was just checking I didn't miss any other comments. All right. So, okay, sometimes I read 2 people, and 2 people did just jump out at me. So Kim, is it Kim Gratian, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, sorry about that. So Kim and Doreen Looney. All right, so sometimes I read to people. Okay. Mimi, what's the matter? Sorry, just meowing. What's the matter? You can jump over the gate. She's like, can you open the gate for me? Okay, so Kim and Doreen, Inner Desires, check it out. Oh yeah, there's lots of ocean energy. I'm like, I've picked up the ocean cards. We've got the mermaids we just read from. So lots of deep subconscious reconfiguration going on when the mermaids, dolphins and ocean is about. So inner desires, set some intentions. You are entering a phase of plenty or may have a sudden windfall. Goals are within your grasp. Okay, do not give up is a really strong message that I'm getting for you, Doreen and Kim. It also says on the bottom card, so I check out the bottom card of the deck as well, love where you are. Get the beautiful blue through there. It's a very, it's very third eye, because the third eye is the dark indigo blue, but you can see it's also some throat blue on there as well, the throat chakra sky blue on the edges, but it also kind of looks purple in a way, right? So a lot of kind of head stuff. So when we look at inner desires, set some intentions. You are entering a phase of plenty or may have a sudden windfall. Goals are within your grasp. So the sense that I'm getting here with all this head energy is sometimes we can get carried away in our head. Sometimes our thoughts can spiral us down. Sometimes we can be like, yeah, and then we just kind of fall down again. So I'm also feeling and sensing for you that maybe there's not, I want to say, like, I don't feel like you have direction. Like, is that how it feels? Like you've been feeling lost, or you just don't have direction, or you're like, I'm not sure, you know, what to do there. So, because it says set some intentions, right? You're entering a phase of plenty or may have a sudden windfall. Goals are within your grasp. So I'm like, that doesn't make logical sense in a way, right? Like you're feeling lost, but goals are within your grasp. The sense that I'm getting is that it's a very potent and powerful time for you. It's like you're in this phase where I feel like you've been going along and you're like, yeah, but then you've kind of, it's almost like you've stepped into doubt and you've stepped into like, well, yeah. And I feel what's happened. So this is the inner desires. This inner desires for me that I feel is always deeply connected to your heart. And when I said there's a lot of blue, purple, there's a lot of this energy, crown, third eye, throat. It's almost like everything felt good and clear. And then what's happened is there's something that's triggered on, and it's kind of pulled you out of your heart, because that's where we feel good in our heart. And so then you're up in your head trying to figure it out, and you're like, I don't know anymore. Like, well, I thought, and so Kim says, I'm confused about if I have any gifts. Exactly, right? So the set your intentions. I feel like right now you're in a very powerful, critical kind of turning point. There's a powerful movement there. There's a, like, you know, when I talk about recalibrating your internal compass and it like spins, right? And we can feel lost when it's spinning, right? If we're going through a transition in our life and we feel lost, there's a, like the compass is still spinning, hasn't got direction yet. Yeah. So I feel like you did. And when we've got direction, we're really connected to our heart. So kind of backtrack a little bit to, you know, when you did feel good or clear, and just kind of look at like, what was the trip up? What was the trigger? What was the point where you disconnected out of your heart and were like, oh, I'm not sure anymore, and do I? And, you know, and just by the way, there's a lot of that trigger energy going on. The past kind of couple of months, there's a lot of like the energy in the air sort of thing, right? Yeah, so for the first time in your life, don't feel like you have direction. Exactly, right? So I was picking up with these cards. So, and with you, Kim, as well, when you're like, I actually don't know if I have any gifts. So what I want to say to that too is like, we all have intuitive gifts, yeah? Sorry, I'm sweating and my nose, I was like fully crying before I did a live stream this morning. It's just about, I was like, yeah, anyway, it's one of the story. So I feel like I'm like sweating and everything. I'm like, why did I do it outside? So it's changing daily, the energy. Yeah, exactly. So love where you are. Okay. So Kim, when you're saying about your gifts, I'm like, you do. What can happen, and I'm curious, Kim, like, did you feel like in the past you did have, like, you were like, oh yeah, like I must have this, or maybe you started working on something with it and, you know, but then you were like, oh yes, okay. So Kim says, I've been told I should be a healer. Okay. All right. So there's a thing about this. I believe that we all have the gift, right? I really do. I just believe it's in different kind of, I want to say levels. I don't like using that word, but it is in different levels of how awake somebody is ultimately, right? Now, anything and anyone can become good at something if we practice. Everybody knows that. I was like, oh, I want to be a chef. So what do? We take the training to become a chef. And if you want to be a really good chef, well, then you would take extra training and train with the best chefs, and you would like further your career, and then you'd become the best chef in the world, right? Anybody can do that in any career they choose. Yeah, that's the truth of it. Yeah. So Kim says, I've always felt I'm an empath. Yeah, exactly. So yes, you're definitely a healer. Now, whether you actually step into doing that healing work for a career or not, of course, that's completely your choice, right? The thing I just want to point out when you say, I don't know if you said you feel confused. I think it was Doreen that was saying that. But if you feel confused, if you're like, I don't know if I'm a healer or something, when somebody outside of us tells us something, that can be confusing because we don't resonate with it ourselves. And when we feel confused, it's always good to check in with, am I taking on somebody else's opinions and belief, and does it align with my truth? And this is where, this is making more sense now. This is where, like, we come into, we're like talking and we're in our heart because we're just in our life and we're like, we're good. And then somebody comes along and they like tell us something and we're like, oh, really? Oh, and if we're not sure if that aligns, or we're like, just because they said it, and then we like take that in, and what I call this and through the chakras is like we swallow that truth whole. And if that's not our truth, it kind of gets stuck here because we're like, oh, is that what that is? Right? And so always, like I said, if you get confused about anything or anyone, have I swallowed somebody else's truth? Is that my truth or somebody else's truth? You know, and there's so many different variations on that. I mean, if you resonate with an empath, of course you have some sort of healing gift, right? You're an empath, right? There's a different species that goes on here. So the other piece with that is then, you know, you could explore it more for sure, but I wouldn't follow a path just because someone told you to, okay? It's just like high school and your parents telling you should be a doctor because they didn't do that for their career. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, it's always fine tuning that. So with this here, yeah. So I've been told I should be a healer. So what I would be doing is asking your intuition. Am I a healer? Show me. Show me which way to go, right? Now, when you look at here, set some intentions on the inner desires. You are entering a phase of plenty or may have a sudden windfall. Goals are within your grasp. So this lost and confusion is about to pass. Not much longer, and you'll pop out the other side of this. Yeah, and I do feel that is a tail on collectively as well. I do feel there is a big bubble window. I've been speaking about this in my Intuitive Healing Tuesdays. I do like a 10-minute energy update before we start in that group there. So if you're not in that group, send me a message and I can add you to the group. So this bubble is what we're about to burst through, and I feel like there'll be a lot of clarity for a lot of people. In the meantime, set some intentions. You could rewrite that saying, ask more questions. When somebody tells you something, and it always, like I say too, if you receive intuition and you have an intuitive thought or you have a dream and you're like, well, what does that mean? Like, you know, you can ask it. You can be like, okay, intuition, I see that you're showing me this, or I get this feeling about this. Cool, I don't understand it. I need more information, please. Just like if you were getting more information from a person, you speak to your intuition like that as well, right? So ask more questions, set some intentions, and the affirmations. So I'm actually going to be releasing in the next couple of days, I felt really guided to do, I'm so excited about this, a mindset reset course. So it's a 2-week immersion that we're going to be diving into mindset, and it's really aligning with our heart, our purpose, and getting clear after all this kind of fog that a lot of us have been through in the 220 whirlwind. We'll be creating a mindset reset because there's a lot of people going, what am I doing again? Like we need a reset, right? So and I'm really excited because it's not just all, I've got so many affirmations from the past that I've used to get me to where I am now and beyond, but I've been called to like write all new ones and everything. So I'm really excited about this journey. So little side note, the reason I'm sharing that is because set some intentions. So if you're not journaling, there is some writing prompts that you could use, like talk to your soul like you would a person. Like, so I've been told that I'm a healer, like you're writing this down, right? You have this conversation with yourself, basically. I've been told that I'm a healer. Like, is that true? Okay, and it says yes or no. Like, just trust what comes through in that space, right? Okay, well, show me how I'm a healer. What does that even mean? Like, like go through all the questions, right? Anything that you sort of would book in for a psychic reading, for example, to come and ask those questions, like just ask them to your intuition, ask them to yourself. You'd be surprised what comes through, right? The thing about trusting intuition is that when you sit down in a little powerful sacred ritual space to do something like that, you have to trust what comes through. Like you just open this sacred little place to get answers. Like you need to trust that, right? So yeah, okay, just let me check these comments. Hey Carla, Pauline, seeing some more people here. Hello everybody. Okay, so Kim says, even talking to you now, my hands are burning. Yeah. So I guess in that question, Kim, is kind of like, have you ever done any psychic development classes or, like furthered your psychic development in any way in a course or anything like that? So that's what I teach in Trust Intuition, is all that stuff, of course. Because just exploring it, and as an empath, like we do feel everybody's energy, and it's just about fine-tuning your gift, yeah, because we do feel like we are different. Hands are burning, you feel things, you see things, you know things, yeah, and so it just feels like you're starting to become aware of that. So I'd be curious, so like, do you have my Clear and Activate pack? That's on my website, realityawareness.com. If you don't have that, or anyone, you can go and download that. It's free. There's four meditations in there, some training videos in there. So that's like the perfect essential tools for an empath to really start deciphering whose energy is whose. Is this mine? What are my gifts? Where do I go into about that? Also, my mini course, Get Clear Intuition, is literally a mini course about really deciphering how your intuition works. Do I have the gift? Is that, a thing? It's like, that will help you go through to be able to build that relationship. Because ultimately, if you resonate with being an empath, I want to say, yeah, you do have a gift, right? Because you wouldn't be feeling these things. You wouldn't be drawn to reality awareness or anything like that. And sometimes, and this is where I said it's a fine line, when somebody tells you something like that, you're like, oh, is it? Like sometimes that's the catalyst that we need to be able to step onto our purpose work and do that. It's just finding the right mentors and teachers to be able to support you with that, as well as your intuition. So, inner desires, set your intentions. Yeah, you're entering a phase of plenty or may have a sudden windfall. Goals are within your grasp. So like I said, clarity is coming. But set some intentions. Have some sacred talks with yourself. Get really clear, right? Butterfly. So yeah, I'm on the Sunshine Coast, which is about an hour north of Brisbane in Australia. Yeah, in the hinterland, of course, as you can see. So the bottom card being love where you are. Sorry, I'm really sweating because the sun is like, it's like I'm in a sauna below. I'm like, why did I stand in the sun? I think I missed the sun over the past 10 days of rain. So use your sensitivity to know when to act. Connect your heart to your head when determining what you would like. So you know how I said to you just before, and for you, Doreen, and I said, it's a lot of purple, a lot of like dark blue, light blue, looks purple almost. I'm like, it's a lot of here. And this is like inner desires is heart, and there's like a disconnect from the heart. And so, you know, like traveling back, you know, in your, you know, your mental timeline, like, where did that change? Like, where did that change? And this is really like, it's not that it's good or bad that you've disconnected from your heart. All that has happened is that it's kind of triggered on a bit of a, I want to say doorway type thing. It's triggered on a bit of a block, if you may. Because you were like, yeah, like moving forward on my heart, or just my life, everyday life, right? And then someone says something to you and you're like, really? I don't know. And like what that's doing is it's recalibrating, right? So you're just going along your life. And what that is like it says, like that little catalyst that comes in, or you're just in this reconfiguring kind of like internal compass point. And, you know, what happens is you really, you're being guided back to your heart. So a little side note, I feel called to share this. So I know there's a lot of you on live here. Oh my gosh, sorry guys, I feel like I'm just come out of the pool. Like sweating so much. Wasn't really hot before. Anyway, little side note. So this is something, obviously, like I said, I've been going through my own huge recalibration since about November last year, and finally getting clear, finally getting some clarity after a lot of no clarity. There's some of you who are on live who would remember when we had the discussion, I think it was last year, and we spoke about this quite a bit actually. We're going to talk about your internal compass. And if you, in that Clear and Activate pack, I'll check the comments just a moment. When you check that Clear and Activate pack, in there is the internal compass, right? It's one of them in there. And when you use that, people have asked me, oh, is it connecting to the normal north, south, east, west directions? Because people said to me, they're like, but, you know, where, you know, but I don't resonate with the direct north. Like, and I've always said for a long time, and I remember I say to you guys, this feels like north to me. I mean, this is west, right? This is where the sun rises. I mean, sorry, this is east, where the sun rises. But I'm like, I've always recalibrated to north here. And I didn't question that, but just recently, do you know what's dropped in? And I'll do an entire live stream on this, but I feel called to share this, is I feel like I've been off kilter because I've been aligning to this east as north instead of the proper north. If I'm grounding my reality into reality, I need to really connect with the reality that's here. Reality awareness, don't even start me on this whole thing, because this is part of the, oh my God, I was talking about this on Intuitive Healing Tuesdays. I think it was last week actually. We had this discussion. The irony, right? Hannah from Reality Awareness, like, not connected to her reality. Like, just don't even get me started on it. Like, there's so many little pieces here that I could talk about forever. Anyway, the point that I just want to share is, since I had that realization, like just the other day, I was like, oh my God, that makes total sense. So even though I don't like or feel, you know, deeply connected to the true north currently, like I'm always like, no, this is like north, then I realized how much that like had disconnected me from where we are living, you know, and I keep saying that all the time. I'm like, wow, okay. And ever since, just going, okay, I get that. I really get that. And I will do a live stream, because there's so many, like there's a lot of deep stuff that I want to talk about connected to that realization, with the, all the dark side of the stuff that surfaced on the planet in the past 18 months, even though it's been there for many years. So yeah, I just wanted to guys share that. Why did I want to share that? Because, right, when you do the internal compass chakra clearing meditation, the recalibrating meditation, you're recalibrating back to your internal compass. Now this is like potent, like pure intentional desire about it. It's your heart, right? So if something doesn't feel right, you need to stay. So for me, connecting to normal north hasn't felt right for so long. So I've just trusted myself and connected to east, I want to say west, east, as what north is for me. Now that has felt right up until I had that realization the other day. Now, even though I don't want to connect to the real north because of all the reasons that we've been knocked off kilter and stuff, is really where that comes from, which, you know, is a whole discussion in itself. Because I want to transform the current reality that we're in, well, we need to be connected to it. Oh my God, there's so many reasons I want to talk. Okay, I need to do a live stream on that. So, inner desires, right? Go back to that point where you feel like you were, where it did shift for you, where you were feeling good, but then you were like, which way do I go now, right? So, when you tune into that, you can even say, I'm willing to connect to my heart. Show me how to connect to my heart. Higher self, speak to me. What do I need to do? Connect to my heart. What are my heart's desires? Like literally have a conversation with yourself. In writing is really powerful, pen and paper, because you're really like, it's, even though typing is still physical reality, pen and paper is even more in a way, right? So I'd be getting really clear on that, because right now, it's so interesting, right? Connect your heart to your head when determining what you would like. So love where you are. Sometimes we're knocked out of current reality in the now because we are not liking what we see in the current reality, and so we want to disconnect from it, because in doing so disconnects us from our heart, which is where all the pain has been stored. Heartbreak can be heartbroken about many things, right? So yeah, if that makes sense. My heart has been hurting so bad. There we go, right? So, and your heart knows the way to go. And sometimes though, there's a recalibrating that happens in that reconfiguring. And as I always say, you're not lost, you're recalibrating, right? You're not lost, you're recalibrating. So it's okay to, you know, when you're still like, you're like, why don't I know where to go? And sometimes that's really confronting because we like to be in control and we like to like have a grip on reality, so to speak, right? And so we need to just remember, the compass must still be spinning, and support yourself in that. Like maybe it's time, just like that card came up for Lena, maybe it's time to just totally allow yourself to have this break. Like just take a breath of air, like just, you know, look at it as though it's a gift to just stop, because most of us in current day reality don't stop. Well, apart from when we're in lockdown, right? So yeah, so be okay with that, but definitely ask the questions. Ask, you know, through that space there around, you know, that sacred space about what is your heart's desires, where do they, you know, and be okay if you don't get a clear answer. Be okay if you don't get any answer. Be okay if you just start crying the whole time, right? So yeah, you can't see the sweat. I can feel it though. Thank you. Can't see it. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll just pretend it's not there. No, I just feel uncomfortable. Just want to jump in the pool. Oh dear. So Doreen says, yes, I thought I was going one way and now I'm swallowing the truth of something unexpected. Exactly. And this is the thing, right? We'll be like, yeah, we're going this way. Sometimes it still feels good, but then when we're like, oh, like that's really coming from, if we look at it from like your higher self, for example, and actually reconnecting you where your true alignment of soul's purpose, life path is, you know. Sometimes we think we're on the right path, yeah, but if we get really, really clear, we also know there's a level of it that we're not, you know. So it's a tricky one. Swallowing the truth of something unexpected, and we're like, ugh. And then we're like, I don't know, because ultimately we just haven't cried about it. As I always say, that one of the best forms of healing is crying. Yeah, you're so welcome, Kim. You're so very welcome. Yeah, so the Clear and Activate pack is, if you just go to realityawareness.com, which is just my website, and it's the first thing, you'll see the big pink button. My cats, the big pink button, you can just click on that to be able to go to the Clear and Activate pack to be able to download that So once you enter your name and email, you'll be able to go to the login page and you'll have access. And if you can't find that, you should get an email saying, hey, welcome. Click on the button here to log in. And so you go to realityawareness.com/login. So you'll go into the members area then, and you should see the pack there. There's training videos. You can download the MP3s. I go through and explain how to use them. There's healing protocols to go with that, because it's not just like, hey, we're meditating. Like, you've got 4 meditations there, and I use these with my clients. This is one little version of how I work with my clients that I was guided to just share with you guys for free, because you know, after the past 18 months, I'm like, man, like so many empaths need this right now. And so I created it for free and put in the healing protocols. So it's not just like, oh, we'll just go through this meditation. It's literally like, oh, we can actually heal this particular issue if we do these in this certain order. So very, very powerful. Please go and use it and come and share in the Reality Awareness support group. If you're not in there, it's our free little community. And tell us how you're going, or if you've got questions about what comes up in the meditations, because they are a bit of a different frequency in those meditations as well. So yeah, just keep me posted. Let me know how you go, or just let me know if you've got questions, yeah? So Doreen says, I've been setting goals and intentions. I just feel like my whole life has changed. And now I live by myself. I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life. Yeah, definitely a lot of that going on. Definitely huge recalibration for so many people. And if you think back to April last year, so April, May, there was a big series of eclipses then. And this sort of January, February, March has been like the tail end of those eclipses that really stirred up so much for humanity. I talk about the 9 to 10 month healing cycle and the 18-month healing cycle. That January, February, March is like that tail end of the April, May eclipses that went on. It's like the end of the 9-10 month birthing cycle. So it's kind of no surprise. So if you think back to April last year, there is some, you know, things going on. Like what's going on now will be similar thread, or you might have had thoughts about it, or something happened, you know, back then that's a similar sort of feeling that you're working through and finalizing now in a way. But yeah, those feelings, very collective at the moment, yeah, so you're definitely not alone. All right, so just checking these comments. That's my German Shepherd. She whinges at the cats right next to her. Oh, you're from Scotland, Kaylee. I'd love that sun, not hot. I was like down in Victoria last year. So Victoria, if you don't know, is like down in the bottom half of Australia. Not bottom half, it's in one of the bottom states of Australia. And it's very cold because I'm in the southern hemisphere. I struggled. I struggled with the cold down there. Fair enough, I was there in winter, but I had to come back to the tropics. Hence the like really hot sun, and the sun goes away for less than 10 days and I'm struggling. So yeah. Oh, that's so interesting, Pauline. It's the same in architecture. North is different to the true north. How interesting. That is so interesting. The earth is shifting its tilt and the poles are shifting again. Yeah. Strong at the moment, isn't it? Okay. All right. Hi, Kylie. Just checking these comments. You're sweating too, but you think you're sympathy sweating. Oh, no. Disconnect your empath energy from me. No. It's important to do that, guys. As soon as you get off a live stream or off social media, disconnect your energy, yeah? And if you use the clairsentient sponge clearing meditation in that Clear and Activate pack, that is like the empath's most powerful tool, stronger than chakra clearing, better than anything like that. So please, please, please make sure you go and grab that and use that. So only it doesn't take that long. Dawn, what's the matter? What is it? All the kittens are here. She's so protective of the kittens. Please grow your own. Yes, thanks, Meta. All right, so just checking comments. You were stuck in Tasmania last year and you struggled bad. So yeah, I'm not good with it. You've tapped into it because all the knowledge you have about the globe, they're scared. Sacred sites, yeah. Yes, okay, awesome. Another round of yes pleases for our cards. Oh, it's okay, ma'am. I mean to scare you. Super lovely to connect with you guys. I know I've been quiet on the public live streams, working on my big project and recalibrating, going, what do I do again? So it's really, really lovely to have you here, and all these new people here. I super love having you and for you being here. So welcome. Really, really love you guys. All right. Okay, so who is next? So Leah Marcel jumped out straight away, and I'm just scanning through the rest. Okay, I know you guys are close together there. That's interesting. Trisha. So Trisha Damron and Leah Marcel. So they're the ones that jumped out. Okay, so kind of two separate cards, but I feel even your comments were close together, so I feel there's something here. Okay, this is interesting. So Leah, Manifestia, beautiful card. It's the beautiful passion fruit flower is really significant on this card. So Manifestia, yeah, lovely for you to be here, Carla. So Leah, just gonna leave that one for there for the second. It's Trisha, wasn't it? Trisha. Harmonic Flight. How beautiful these cards. Harmonic Flight. Okay, so a couple of questions for you guys. Trisha, are you in a relationship? Yeah, thanks for being here, Dee. So yeah, Trisha, are you in a relationship? Okay, Leah. I love these cards. Look, the mermaid energy is still coming out. Check this out. Look, these are stuck together. This is important message. So Leah, felt called to pull another card for you, but two came out. My battery's gonna die. Just downloaded my pack. Yay! So Leah, Manifestia. Then I was like, okay, I need more information. There's something sitting there. And I feel like, Leah, this is for you. So I just saw, you know, the story of the lotus flower, and it's like going through the mud for ages, well, however long, comes through the mud, and then it has this beautiful flower. It comes up through the mud. So I just saw for you from the Manifestia card is that like you're just at the surface. You're just at the surface, about to pop out, you know, like you're about to come into the water. And so I feel like there's two sections here, right? Because you know how, you know, as the flower's coming up through the mud, then it's still got to go through the water, and then it comes up to the surface, sort of thing. And I feel like this pop through the mud, obviously then it's still got to rise to the surface, as an analogy. I feel like the pop through is that you're almost gonna, I want to say you're almost gonna burst with emotion. I don't think that that's the case though. I feel like with you, Leah, you've been working dedicatedly, consistently, very disciplined, not strict and controlled, but very just disciplined, like, and you know, very in alignment, it feels like. And I feel like you're going to pop through into the water, so to speak. There's a lot of, you know, water represents with the emotions, yeah, and there's a lot of emotions, so, you know, kind of swirling around, but that strong stem of the lotus flower just like swayed a little bit, but just not how it used to be. For example, it's interesting, like the Shine Your Light card came up when I pulled, like, for more information, look, see, here's the mermaids again. Which is a beautiful mermaid, again, with that platinum light. So very similar to Lena, the feeling, yeah? And, you know, is using the analogy of the lotus flower and the stem coming up through the water, a little bit swayed, but just not in the water, so to speak, and dispersed through the water, I guess you would say. You're not scattered through the water. You're in it, and you're very stable through that, right? Going with the flow, the shine your light. And the platinum light, yeah, you can see the platinum light on this card in a sense of like Lena, the stem is the solid foundation you've built and all that platinum energy, and you're just about to come up to the surface, right? These cards are lush and dough, right? The internal explorer is this here. The internal explorer, like I said, was stuck. Like I was like, pull one card, but this was literally stuck. I had to put them all down to try and pull them apart. And this, the internal explorer, being stuck behind the shine the light, I feel like this is your dedicated practice. There's a lot of platinum on here as well, has given you that strength. So I'm feeling and sensing for you as well that internal stability, so just check the bottom card of the deck too. Yeah, lovely to see you, Jenny, is the heart chakra. So lots of heart stuff on this reading for a lot of people. Unfurling back to love, yeah? And I feel like you've done that dedicated, consistent work. This is your backbone, yeah? The internal explorer. The shine your light and the manifestia, I feel like that is really like symbolism of like you're almost there, you know, and I feel like there's a part of you that's been like, okay, like really working on this and through this, and this has been like the undertone of, you know, you're about to burst in. I feel like this has really kind of really shifted to the next level for you as well, though. I feel like that's really amplified and come into your sense of self there too, recently. And I feel like that this, you can even see it almost looks like the stem in the water in a way, right? So I just feel like this is deep confirmation for you, Leah, around like keep going. And, you know, if you want a timeline of where you're at with your manifestation practices, use that lotus flower analogy of like you just shifted into the mud, or you're just, out through the mud, in through the water. And, you know, there's still a little bit way to go. And it's not that we're ever done with our goals, as you probably know. However, the main kind of thing is that now, I mean, you could Google how long it takes a flower to rise, but that depends on the water level. That depends on the light, the sunlight. That depends on location. So I wouldn't be going off that, which I know you probably won't, but it's kind of like just keep going. I feel like this is awesome confirmation. And I feel like that deep connection is, you know, like the shine your light and all the rays coming out of her is more like you're, I'm not sure what you're working on, but I'm not sure if it's connected to your business. It kind of feels like it in a way. But these strands almost look like all the threads that you're connected to people and or have been putting out into the world. And this is like your magnetic attraction that is deeply amplifying and coming in. Like this is your strength, yeah? And so don't give up, which I know you're not, but it's kind of like it's so close, right? And you look at that image of a flower coming up, and you know it looks so beautiful with its beautiful spikes. It's kind of like, yeah, deep there. So Leah says, definitely confirmation, babe. Had a number of people say the same thing lately. Awesome. Yeah, deep confirmation. You're like navigating the subconscious waters with ease, grace, and flow, even though it's not easy at times, but it's such a deep space coming back to your heart. So yeah, awesome. Love that. So back to Trisha. It's interesting you guys were close together, and I feel like there's a reason and a connection here. So Trisha said, yes, she's in a relationship. And with this card, so the harmonic flight. Now, without looking in the book, I mean, like, it looks like a relationship in a way. That's why I was like, are you in a relationship? And I want to, like, the first thing that came to mind, Trisha, was like, are you seeing eye to eye lately, or haven't you been seeing eye to eye lately? And like, my sense is that you haven't been, and that you've been questioning things related to your heart. But then I'm like, or has it just come into that harmonic space? So if you can just let me know, like, have you been seeing eye to eye lately or not really? Because when you look at this card, there's so much depth in here, in a sense of like, look at all this platinum light down the bottom in a way. And the platinum light, it's interesting for a lot of people in this reading. This platinum light looks like it wants to bust up and come through, right? So it's like, no, you haven't been. Okay, I had that sense, right? And when you look at this card, it's like all of this wants to rise. All of this platinum light, just like everything I've been sharing on the live stream, wants to rise up. It wants to come through. It's trying to come through. And this seeing eye to eye, like this would be your reason why you're not seeing eye to eye lately, if that makes sense, on such a deep level. Now, it's interesting, like I'd said, that you were really close to Leah. And I mean, I don't know if Leah's still here, and of course she doesn't have to share, but it would be interesting if Leah, I'm not sure if you're in a relationship or not, Leah, but being able, like, if you were in a relationship that wasn't so good for you not too-ish long ago, and now that you've left that, it's like everything is rising, and that not taking flight, the shine your light, and everything, which that platinum light, right? So it's almost like, Leah, I feel you have a choice point to rise and shine your light anyway. And that person will either rise with you or it will disintegrate. And, you know, and that's a really tricky, hard, strong decision for anybody to make. And I'm not saying you have to or you don't have to. I guess I'm just giving you that sense that the platinum energy is wanting to come through. And, you know, and it's a thing, like, it's very common in people who are seeking their life purpose path. If they're in unhealthy, toxic relationships and they're trying to find their life purpose, or, you know, do their business or whatever it is, usually the business that you have to tend to is this first. Because I'm sure it's possible, but I actually don't know anyone who is in a really unhealthy, toxic relationship who is like in full flight, shining their light in their life purpose path. Like, I don't know, maybe there is people like that in the world, but I don't know them, you know? And I'm not saying that you have to or don't. I guess I'm just saying it's very common for people, say women, but men as well, who are in a relationship that it's just toxic. And a lot of this, you know, this can transform it. And this is where I'm saying not all relationships have to end, right? This, you know, can transform it, but it has to be two people working together on it, if that makes sense. I feel like it's been holding me down. Yeah, it's a thing, right? It's definitely a thing. So it's something that I'd definitely be, you know, like, you know, it's not you, it's not him, it's this. And so what you can do, you know how I was sharing before, and we can talk to our heart's desires, like we can talk, you know, to connect in writing. You could specifically talk to the platinum light. You could specifically, of course, talk to your heart and your soul, of course, but also to this platinum light. And then you can also, depending on the sort of relationship that you have, if it's not a very like physical, communicative, open relationship, like an open communicative relationship, you could talk to their soul as well, right? And then you could also kind of have a conversation with their soul in working through that too. Now, in the Clear and Activate pack is also the shadow meditation. That is like pure gold for being able to have these conversations with him, right? What I mean by that is just like we can write, you know, down and have a conversation. We can use that shadow meditation and literally like meditate with the intention, like, you know, before you press play sort of thing, with the intention, I want to talk to him. And so when you go in that meditation, I mean, he usually turns up, especially if you're going in with an intention, but someone else might turn up and you'd be open to that on the shadow meditation. But it's an awesome way to communicate in that way as well. So yeah, I'd definitely be working with that. But this is trying to bust through so that you can shine your light through. Yeah. And yeah, it's definitely not easy space. There's a lot of people who go through this, right? So yeah. So Leah says, I do energy healing and haven't been able to do my work as much because I no longer have the space. So everything you said makes sense. Okay. Yeah. You're so welcome. Yes. Okay, so Leah says, an old love best friend came back into my life at the end of February. So interesting, start of March. He isn't in a good place. So I was struggling with his energy and had to distance myself. So trying to do long distance healing. That. It's tricky and it's hard, right? Because as I said, like these relationships can be beautiful and you can do this together. But it does take willingness and effort on both sides. And I know you guys know that. And it's not an easy place to be in. But yeah. I'm just going to quickly, I know my battery's going to die shortly, but I just want to quickly look at the harmonic flight. So that's number 29. Harmonic flight in the book. I just feel like there's something that wants to jump out. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so this comes into the platinum light I was talking about. When we can see and be seen, disarmed and trusting, so that's the shining your light, right? Being open and vulnerable and shining the truth of who you are. When we can see and be seen, disarmed and trusting, we can come to deeper love. However, this deepening process can trigger the release of outdated and unhealthy patterns. Exactly what we're sharing, right? And this is why this happens, right? So when we do feel safe, loved, and open, all of this light goes, sweet, we've got a channel to come through. But first, we need to clear out this darkness, so to speak, even though it's not technically dark, but you know, between the relationship dynamics. Third eye is all about relationship dynamics. All about the dynamics in any relationship, right? And so, however, this deepening process can trigger the release of outdated and unhealthy patterns that we're seeing reflected in another so close to us, yeah? Thus, shadows may be brought to the surface to heal. Hence, the shadow meditation is so powerful in this point in time. So when we feel safe in the arms of our beloved, our defenses yield so we can fall further into our heart. So very significant with what we were sharing before around getting triggered and coming up in here and like disconnecting from our heart. Yeah. How pertinent is this reading, this whole live stream? So however, fear-based reflections or projections can surface in this place of deep vulnerability. Subconscious behaviors, including childhood patterning, can also present themselves. So again, even, you know how I said, like, use a shadow meditation, but someone else might come up in that meditation, even if you ask to speak to him, sort of thing. The reason that does is exactly what this card just said. However, fear-based reflections or projections can surface in this space of deep vulnerability. If you do the shadow meditation, someone else comes up, what that is actually, and it might be someone from your past or something, like that's actually where the original trigger, say, of whatever's going on between you two right now, and you're like, yeah, like what this thing is, right? And so you're like, cool, I'm going to do shadow meditation. Someone else comes up from a memory from your past or whatever, for example, and you're like, what? Like, this doesn't make sense. But if you go deeper with it, that same feeling that's being triggered in the current relationship, that's where it started. And so working with the shadow meditation heals that where it began, so to speak. And, you know, sometimes it shifts straight away. Sometimes you need to work deeper because it might be layered as well. So yeah, there's many different scenarios there. But then you can come back to current relationship and go, oh, so has it shifted? Is it still there? Sometimes it shifts on its own. Sometimes you need to work deeper, going into past lives, etc. And sometimes it's actually up to the other person now to also do the work. So this is definitely what I work with people on my shifter programs. And the reason I'm sharing this, and you've also got the tools to get started right away in the Clear and Activate pack with the shadow meditation for that reason, is because and you probably already know this, but when deciding to stay or go in a relationship, it's so important that you do as much work as you can on yourself about all these reflections, and that are, you know, clearing the subconscious, childhood patterns, clearing the wounds, etc. Because if you like leave straight away, and I don't think you'll do this, but just sharing, like if you leave straight away and then you like get down the track and you do all this healing work and you're like, oh, maybe it was fine in the relationship, or maybe that shifted it, maybe I should go back, and then we kind of start that loop again. So what I always say, unless you're in a like fully violent domestic violence relationship, of course I wouldn't recommend staying. I would be like, let's get out of there first. But I would definitely be working on, you know, this internal stuff, because, and you know, choose a number, 7 days, 21 days, 30 days, my phone's gonna die, I can feel it, and work with that consistently. So work with the shadow every day, work with it Monday to Friday, take the weekend off, do some deep inner work, right? And there's obviously other processes you can use and stuff, of course, and by the end of the 30 days, you might have clarity even before then, or you might get to the end of the 30 days and you're like, nope, still the same, I know I need to go. But then you can leave in the full like kind of faith and confidence that you've done what you can do, you know, you've done it, you know, rather than leaving and going, oh, maybe I should have done that work, you know. So, but yeah, like I said, there's always variations to that. If you're in a not safe environment, I'll be like, get out of there. So yeah. So guys, I know my battery's gonna die any moment now. I can feel it, because you know we're intuitive like that. Yes, you're so welcome, Leah. You're so very welcome. So love having you guys here. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. And my quantum portal sessions, the reality reconfiguration, is my offering. I'm so excited. I'm like really clear on this now. I've been like sitting with it, and I'm like, sweet, time to come out with it now. So this is one-on-one in the portal. We do a full video session where we can film that as well, so it's recorded, so you can take that away with you too. We dive deep into the quantum field, we dive deep into the energetics in your body, we dive into your organs. There's so much healing that goes on in many different layers through the ethers here, plus your physical body. We look at timelines and go back through past lives. There's also the galactic homes that we reconnect to. There's so much that happens in these sessions. So yeah, you're so welcome, Carla, the validation and confirmation. You're so very welcome. So if you got any questions, comment below or send me a message if you've got inquiries about the quantum portal sessions. And thank you for being here. I will be coming out more and more now, so thank you for your patience while I've been reconfiguring my life and my business to be able to support you in the highest capacity that my heart and soul was like, I want to save the world, and now I can. That's able to support me and sustain that dream as well. So yeah. Yes, it is one-on-one, Joy. Yeah, the quantum portal sessions are one-on-one. Yeah. Yes. I know I always say it, but so love how these readings are so spot on. Yeah, it's amazing, right? It's like timing, super, super timing. So yeah, you're so welcome. All right, so lovely to have you here. I shall see you soon. Mwah. See ya. Bye.